Effectively communicating your needs is a skill that could completely change both your relationships and your professional life. So, why is it so difficult for most women to be able to do this? And what can you do to deliver that fiery statement with grace but with power? If you'd like to learn more about cultivating self-confidence and creating a feminine-centric lifestyle, make sure to subscribe to my channel and check out my free masterclass, Wearing Confidence, in the description box below. Hi, I'm Silvana, and I am a course creator, and I help women experience more confidence, magnetism, and reconnect with their innate power. I don't know about you, but there has been times in my life where I have been so angry that I am unable to communicate exactly what I need to say because either I end up crying or my voice breaks down or I just scream and then I'm seen as the crazy woman. Has this happened to you? Maybe you also went into crazy woman mode, or you just submitted to the whole fine, okay, and moved on. But deep down, you are still experiencing that frustration. The reason why you experienced this is because you actually had a need that wasn't met or a boundary was crossed, and you were not able to express that. Instead, you were left overwhelmed with either frustration or shame. And the frustration makes you lash out, and then the shame just makes you become small and just fawn into whatever is happening. There are 5 things that you need to do in order to communicate your needs effectively, especially when there is a lot of emotionality behind these needs. Number 1, understand your emotions and what they're trying to communicate to you. Every time that you experience an intense emotion of any kind, it's communicating something to you. Oftentimes, we try to push the emotions away, or we try to just get into a more approved emotion, approved by the mind, saying that it is better than the other one. And what ends up happening is that we create all of this separation and fragmentation, and the frustration grows or the shame grows, and then eventually comes out in very unconscious ways that you were not even expecting. So if you understand the message that that specific emotion has for you, then you know what is the message that needs to be portrayed to other people. But the first element is to understand the message of your emotion. In order for you to do that, you have to acknowledge what is the emotion that you're experiencing in that moment. Number 2, learn to regulate said emotion and learn to extract the primary complaint of the emotion. What do I mean by that? Let's say that you have a need in a relationship and you feel anger, and then in that anger you want to fight. You want to demand for whatever it is that you want, but you're not even clear on what you want. Whenever you learn to regulate that specific emotion, if it's anger in that case, and you learn to breathe with it and regulate it, which basically means that you just don't explode, but you can feel the emotion without losing yourself in the emotion, then you can understand what was the thing that what was the trigger for the emotion, because the trigger for the emotion is usually the main complaint of the emotion. And once you extract that, then you have your piece of information. This is what is going to help you understand what is it that you desire and need in that moment. And if you can understand it yourself, then you can actually communicate it to the other person. Number 3, after you have processed your emotion and extracted the primary need of this emotion, or what was the trigger that created the strong emotional reaction, then you communicate it. And you communicate it using non-violent communication or authentic relating, or whatever tools of communication you can find to make sure that you are not showing up in a hostile way, and at the same time you're honoring your truth and you're becoming an advocate for that part of you that needs you to speak up. A key element here is that I strongly advise people to process their own emotions privately before they bring into communication. If you want to explore an emotion with somebody, then make sure that you're informing them that that's what you want to do, and that you're not gonna make sense, and there might be things that you said that you might take back because you're still figuring things out. If you provide context, then this can be an opportunity for more closeness. However, if the person does not have the capacity of doing that, or it's too volatile and you're afraid that you might just go off the wagon, then I advise you to just process these emotions privately, try to understand them, speak them out loud, write them down in a journal, move them through your body, whatever method you have for processing emotion, then use that. Because once the emotion has been processed, you extract the wisdom from it. And the wisdom is, oh, there was a need that I didn't get met and I need to communicate this. So then you have time to really understand what your need is and time to prepare the delivery message of how you're going to request this. My biggest advice is to always have your back. Instead of seeing yourself as the person that got angry or as the person that felt shame and like crumbled down into smallness and said something stupid or whatever, see yourself as an union of many separate parts. There is a part of you that is very needy and very vulnerable and very emotional. There's a part of you that's deeply connected to the inner child, the wounded inner child, maybe. There's a part of you that is the mature woman that wants to keep everything, the unit happy, but wants to continue advancing and growing and moving into the desires. There's a part of you that is the rebellious teenager that maybe doesn't want to move because it wants to claim that it has the will to do whatever it wants. There's so many parts of us. Whenever we have emotional trigger because a need wasn't met and we were unable to communicate it, the inner child is in distress. Instead of seeing your inner child as this annoying thing that just brings up all this emotion, learn to see yourself as your own advocate. And in that moment, after you have purged and purified the emotion of the inner child, you can sit in the identity of the adult woman. And this adult woman is the advocate for that inner child. Because your main job as the adult woman is to become the mother and father of your own inner child. You no longer need your mom and dad because you're an adult now. Now hopefully you've learned throughout your life how to mother yourself and father yourself effectively. So if you become the advocate of your inner child, then you're properly fathering yourself. The inner child needs an advocate to help them express out their needs into the world. And the advocate needs to be able to communicate those needs in a way that is effective, in a way that is non-confrontational, in a way that's non-judgmental, so we don't poke at other people's defense mechanisms and our message is actually able to be received by others as well. So it is a very tactful dynamic that we have going on here because you have your own emotion and you have the need from that inner child. And now you're the adult that's trying to communicate it. And at the same time, you kind of have to deliver it in a way that is not going to trigger the other person's inner child to the extent that you can. Maybe you will, no matter what. And that's not your problem. Your problem is with you and your own emotions and your inner child, and to make sure that your inner child is feeling heard by you. Because if there's a need that's not being met, and you're able to process the emotion, extract what this need is, and communicate it effectively, there is a closeness that begins happening within yourself. These fragmented parts start becoming more and more integrated in the whole self. And this is the place of agency and sovereignty and power, getting all of those fragmented parts closer and closer into union to create like an internal family that allows you to be at peace and harmony within yourself. Because if you're at peace and harmony with yourself, then you actually can create peace and harmony with other people as well. So in summary, understanding your emotions is going to give you clues as to what is the need that you need to communicate. Becoming your own advocate is going to give you authenticity. Why? Because those inner child needs, whenever they get expressed, they're like the deepest parts of ourselves. They are the beginning, the root of our own internal system. So if you advocate for that part of yourself with clear communication, your expression becomes authentic. Have very clear boundaries with yourself and with other people. Be comfortable in your expression, in your communication, by cultivating confidence from within yourself, and learn to deliver these messages with grace while maintaining your power. If you haven't signed up for my free masterclass, Wearing Confidence, make sure you sign up because that class is going to help you with this specific subject. And let me know in the comments below if you found these tips helpful. See you guys next time.